Do you struggle with lust, pride, anxiety, greed, a lack of purpose, or loneliness? If you do, you're probably like most people out there, because the culture that we live in today has systematically bred us to have these symptoms. You and I are all products of our environment, and let's be real, our environment right now is a toxic cesspool. So this is what we need to realize as young men. We need to realize that we were born into a battlefield, and we were put here for the sake of claiming victory in the name of Christ Jesus. Because if you want to break out of all of your vices and get rid of all those things I listed at the beginning of this video, you first have to understand what's at stake. Our decisions aren't just going to affect us. Our decisions are going to affect our wives and our children. Our virtues will become the virtues of our family, the virtues of our babies, the virtues of our grandbabies. And our vices will also be passed on generationally. So those small mistakes that you're making now, that you're justifying in your mind, you need to wage war with those, because your soul is not the only soul at stake. Your wife and your children, their sanctity, their salvation is hanging in the balance. And we need to reclaim those victories for Christ. Because if you're anything like I was, going along with the flow of the world, you quickly become a narcissist. You quickly become self-absorbed, and you're trying to fill yourself with all of these things that people tell you will make you happy, and it doesn't work. You just end up desperate and alone and anxious, and nobody wants that. If you want to overcome that and become the man that God is calling you to be and become a saint, you have to start being serious about your spiritual life. Listen, how many guys out there spend an hour a day playing video games and less than 3 minutes a day praying? It's probably most people. Imagine if you flipped those numbers and you started to pray for an hour a day. You would be a saint. Imagine if instead of going out drinking with friends on a Friday night, you stayed in and read the Bible. You would become a brilliant, wonderful husband and father. Your wife and your children and your grandchildren would all be indebted to you for making those small decisions. So this is my challenge to any young man under 30 listening to this. I challenge you to spend an hour a day in prayer for the rest of this year. If you're a dad and you have kids, life gets busy and that gets hard. I get it. But if you're a single young man under the age of 30, you've got no excuse not to spend time in prayer and become incredibly holy. Because right now, we're at war, and the enemy wins the battles by making us forget that there's anything going on. We have to wake up and recognize we're under attack, and it's time for us as young Catholic men to strike back. Because we all know the final battle between the kingdom of heaven and Satan is over marriage and the family. And if we want to win the family, we have to win fatherhood. And if you want to be really, really intentional about that, and you want to learn how I have overcome all of these vices and become still a work in progress, but somebody who is living faithfully according to the church's morality and according to the church norms, then I put together something that may be perfect for you. If you want to learn more about that, click on the link in the description and we'll chat soon. God bless.